and welcome. Today I wanted to talk to you about the different loops on a stitch. We're going to be talking about which is the front loop, which is the back loop, and which is the elusive third loop. So you may be working a pattern that's telling you to work in the front loops only. That means when you're looking at the front of the stitch, it's the front loop only. So you're only going to be working through that one loop. One loop. And this is true regardless of whether you're turning or not. So even if you are turning, this is still the front loop. It's now farthest from you, but it's still the front loop. So alternatively, the back loop is this loop. So when you're working in the back loop, you would not work through this one and this one only. The reason for this is that it can give you a different shape. By leaving the front loop unworked, it kind of gives you a stitch definition, a little line. It gives it a different look. It can also shape the stitches. So if you're working in the back loop only, it can cause your stitches to bend upward. So if you're wanting to make, if you've completed a sole and you would now like to work on the sides, they can actually help it can actually help the slipper or booty or whatever you're working on fold upward on the side. So that is the front loop and the back loop. And on some stitches, you can find that it actually has a third loop. The third loop is on the back. It's extremely prominent on a half double crochet because you can see these are the top two and this is the third loop on the very back. I love using this third loop if I'm creating something that needs a 90-degree angle. This will give your project an extreme 90-degree angle. If you want to work slippers and then you really want the side to come up 90 degrees from the bottom, working in that third loop will give your project that nice cornered edge. It is most prominent on a half double crochet, but the other stitches have them as well. So I'm going to work a couple single crochet stitches. If you're needing the third loop on a single crochet, you'd work in this loop right here. So here's our top two loops, and then you flip it over and it's kind of to the left. If you flipped it down, if you've turned it completely, it's kind of to the right. For a right-handed stitch, obviously it would be opposite if you were left-handed. But so you have the top two right here. We have a front, we have a back, flip it down, and then that could be the third loop. Usually when you're working a project, a pattern written by someone else, and they're calling the third loop, most likely they're talking about this one, and most likely it's in a half double crochet. And if you find that the pattern is a single crochet, you're going to work in that loop. And if you really don't like working in that third loop, just see how it turns out working in the back loop, because it might work out just fine for you to work in that back loop anyway. And then here's the double crochet. Again, the double crochet third loop will look a lot like the single crochet loop. The half double crochet is so prominent because you're pulling through 3 loops. So it's definitely a more unique stitch than the other two, kind of is in its own category there. So that third loop is super prominent on the half double crochet. And then on the other stitches, on the single crochet and on the double crochet, it's less prominent. But again, it is there if you need to work in it. So it's this little loop on the back of the stitch. So we have the top two right there, flip it over, and then it's kind of to the side. But I think in any pattern that you find, if the pattern is directing you to work in the third loop, it's most likely that you are going to be working into the third loop of a half double crochet. So that's a little explanation of the different loops.